So next up is representing the West, coming all the way from Las Vegas, Jennifer Mujica. She's the founder of Farmer Jen Organics. She is dedicated to giving people of all ages the gifts of a garden, the joy of nature, peace of being near Mother Earth, and best of all, homegrown delicious food through having a lovely garden. And as we know, food is love, right? All organic farming practices bring the healthiest food to the plate. As an urban farmer and educator in Las Vegas, Nevada, she believes every person can grow their own food. Organic farming and regenerative agriculture have an important role in healing Mother Earth. And we know that that's very important these days. And this fact propels her local farming while aspiring to educate on a national and global scale. She's known as Farmer Jen. She gives people the tools and knowledge to make it grow. She's a writer, urban farmer, natural living advocate, agriscaping certified educator, and as I mentioned, a founder of Farmer Jen Organics. So to give a bit of a more personal note on why she was nominated, we're going to hear from Mary Hida, who is our Global Women's Peace Network representative in Las Vegas, Nevada. So tell us more, Mary.
Oh, yes, I'm actually full. My heart is full after hearing the other stories as well. It's how wonderful that we can highlight women who, in this case, Jen Gammons-Mujica. What can I say about Jen? Well, she is now a Women's Federation member. That's excellent. And she will soon be contributing in many ways, I'm sure, to Global Women's Peace Network, possibly through webinars. And she has so much to give. So I actually first met Jen together with Sarah Hirano at Terry Liggins, who is also a Global Women's Peace Network representative, now living in Ohio. It was her 60th birthday. It was Terry's 60th birthday, and Terry didn't know about it, but a whole lot of women had gathered. I think there were like about 30 people had gathered, and it was a surprise 60th birthday party that her daughter had put together. So before it started, we were gathered together. So I know that Sarah was talking with Jen about gardening, and I also connected with her. And it was just like, you know, Las Vegas maybe is a big city, but it's a small community. So there, somehow we all kind of connect with each other. And so because Terry Liggins is into raw foods, of course she knew Jen Mujica, who was growing raw foods and who was growing organic. And I know that all of the women there is kind of like the women here today, representing all different aspects in our society. So I just, over the years, 2 of the years actually have been during this COVID time. So I actually have to say thank you to Facebook, because I was able to see what Jen was doing and sometimes be involved in her webinars and in her just sharing her knowledge. She came to my backyard and helped me with my garden. And just yesterday, you know, Jen has a really busy schedule. So I learned that she had already booked that she was going to do kayaking yesterday at Lake Las Vegas. And I thought, well, that's kind of close to where I am, but I didn't think much of it. Well, I got a call. She showed me a video of her on the lake. And then I got a call saying, I'm like right close to your house. Can I come over? So she came over and we took a photo together. And so I actually got to touch her before this meeting. which during this time, everything seems to be online. So it was a wonderful meeting. I have to say thank you to Dr. Linda Nishikawa, who actually suggested that I nominate someone, and I just didn't even hesitate 1 minute. I just knew it had to be Jen, because she has, with her heart of giving in the community, and of course it rang with me too, because I'm a gardener myself. Yeah, she just celebrated her 21st wedding anniversary. I think I saw her husband over there, or Jorge. And I'm just so proud to be working together with her in many different ways. And more like the future is going to be great. And I believe that Jen has a lot to say and a lot to share with you. And I just want you to welcome my dear friend, Jennifer Gammons-Mujica.
All right, thank you, Mary, for that personal note of introduction. Let's pull up the award and bring up our president, of course, to read the inscription for us. Yep. You need to unmute yourself.
So wonderful introduction. Again, it's my honor to give the HerStory Award of the Women's Federation for World Peace USA hereby to Ms. Jennifer Mujica on the day of the March 26, 2022. I want to add Women's History Month. We honor your exemplary commitment to empowering others in sustainable gardening and bringing healing and wellness through living in harmony with nature based on your journey of overcoming unimaginable challenges. We applaud you and your work to inspire many, including youth, into understanding and restoring Mother Earth. How important that is. So welcome and congratulations. The floor is yours.
Thank you so much. If I can speak now after hearing all of those kind words and wiping my eyes of tears of happiness, I'll do my best. I want to start out by saying thank you so much for this nomination to be part of the HerStory Awards. It has allowed me to reflect on my life's events in a very new light, with a lot of gratitude and greater appreciation for the chapters in my life that have brought me to today. And I'm excited to share some of those experiences that have helped me become who I am today. And I'm gaining so much strength already from hearing the stories of the other awardees. And I look forward to hearing the rest of the stories today too. So I'm so grateful to be part of this group today. You know, one of the experiences that comes to mind immediately kind of goes many, many years back in my life. And it was at the start of adulthood when I was heading off to college right out of high school. 6 months later, while all my classmates were enjoying, you know, the traditional first year of college, going through the normal adjustment phases of figuring out your academics and finding new friends and being away from family, after, you know, a really what we would call successful, very high achieving experience throughout my teen years, I found myself in a major depression 6 months after starting college. So it eventually led to dropping out, which certainly wasn't in the plan, switching schools. And even though I could explain the causes, but more impactful are the important lessons I learned. So I'm going to focus on that today. And many years later, I learned, you know, that true health and overall well-being and happiness is on many levels. It's emotional, it's physical, it's mental, and it's spiritual health. Emotions, they are part of being human, and it's important, so important to honor them, acknowledge them, let them flow and be released. I could say that when I turned 18, I probably had 15 years of emotions stuffed inside. And when I became an adult, they all came up just like a volcano. But I learned the lesson the hard way to honor your health on every level. Like a cloud that passes over, emotions are temporarily felt, they pass on, the cloud dissolves into shiny blue skies again. While it took many years later again to learn, I know it's important to do what supports health and personal happiness. I am responsible for my emotions and the choices I make and live the values that give my life peace. That's the best starting point to start planning goals, and everything else that you want is finding peace within, inner self-love and self-worth. But self-worth is not about accomplishments. As I said, I think it's about self-love. Success today is often defined by the amount of, and it always has been defined by, the wealth that you attain or the outstanding career you achieve. Do I want financial wealth? Well, yes, the world runs on money. The world lives on money. I want to have freedom and be able to support my family, but it's not the basis of my self-worth. I have self-respect that is based on being the divine person God put me on this earth to be. When we talk about success, the definition, is really what we make it. And it can make such a big role on how you feel as a person. For example, I'm also successful when I offer an upbeat hello to someone that I meet that day and share a little bit of happiness. I'm successful when I have a day of joy and quality time with my family. And I'm successful even when I make a dinner that everyone sits around and enjoys and just absolutely and loves, and it brings them happiness. We may be having a day finding the best solutions to a challenge in our lives. So success from this place of health and strength, I build the goals of career, income, and community service. After living through a pandemic, I would say my theme, and so many others, is resilience. So I'd like to tell you about a story that happened almost 10 years ago. This would be by around 2011. I was a mom with two beautiful daughters and my husband living here and raising our family in Las Vegas, Nevada, when bizarre health changes began happening. I experienced exhaustion, fatigue, depression, getting lost in the grocery store, getting disoriented when out driving. I had just turned 40 and I thought to myself, maybe I am getting Alzheimer's early. And it began to take a massive toll on our family and my career. Again, I think God was telling me that health is so important. It wasn't until a year later that I was diagnosed with a large brain aneurysm, which was thankfully not ruptured. And after brain surgery, my neurosurgeon told me, God saved you. He must have a purpose for you here. I came out of this experience, excuse me for a moment, as chronic disease was also escalating in the US, and so many of it was linked to carcinogens and toxins in our foods and environment. I had eliminated most chemicals from my home and self-care routines after my brain surgery, and I found that my health soared. And another thing that I was doing was eating fresh from my home organic garden. Suddenly, I knew I wanted to share natural living and homegrown food gardening with my community. So first I showed my best friend, my neighbors, and before I knew it, I was doing classes on how to grow food here in the city for my community and for local schools in Las Vegas. Teaching the gifts of the earth, nutrition, and earth stewardship to the youngest generation, our future leaders, is one of my greatest passions. Now I'm also creating local agriculture through growing edible, elegant landscapes called agriscapes in Las Vegas. I'm always looking for ways to share this passion with the world, instilling healthier habits around food, making sure what you have on your body and around you in your environment is good for your health, even to the natural light that we surround ourselves with in this day of technology and blue light. Gardening extends for me into a stewardship of the earth. As more people green their world, so too does our earth become healthier. This path is always evolving, as anyone who is familiar with regenerative agriculture knows that we can reverse the harms done to our environment with regenerative farming. So resilience, I believe, is finding that strength within to stay dedicated to a purpose and positive outcomes when life could so easily spiral into negativity. I have found that resilience, and I feel I'm surrounded right now by other women who have also found that resilience. And I continuously stay focused on the life I want to lead, because I believe that God's will for our lives is health, it's abundance, and prosperity. And every moment is a chance to create soulful relationships with those around you, your family, your friends, and community. So thank you again, Mary Hita, for this nomination. You are such a blessing in my life and such a kind person. I'm so glad to know you. And Sarah Hirano as well. And I also want to thank President Selly and Linda Nishikawa for creating this award and also supporting women in this way. So I can't end this today without saying thank you to my husband, Jorge, and my daughters who inspire me every day, my parents and my extended family who always support what I do. Thank you so much, and it's such an honor to be here today.
Thank you. All right. Well, give her a round of applause. Thank you so much. I feel like you packed so many nuggets in just 5 minutes. Yeah, please write your congratulations, your warm messages, your thanks, and everything in the chat. Yeah, I just love the your lesson of redefining health and redefining success, rather, from the perspective of emotional, spiritual, physical health and well-being based on being the divine person we are meant to be. So thank you so much again, Jennifer, Farmer Jen, for sharing that with us.